This one's going to be maybe just a little bit self-centered in this video here. But what you need to know about joints that make noise, okay? If we ever find ourselves in similar company, you're going to notice something about me. My knees, my ankles, my back, my hips, they creak, they crack, they snap, they pop with a severe regularity. You might hear it if you listen close enough in some of the other videos when I'm back in my normal recording booth, okay? Moving around, you can hear the ankle snap from time to time, and I just want to see what the hell is actually going on here, okay? What the problem is, if it's I know what's causing it, okay? It's a repetitious use, okay? It's exercising every single day. It's going for 8, 10, 12, 15, 20 mile runs every day, okay? And know that it's gotten worse ever since then, but it's either exercise or just snap, crackle, and pop. And if that snap, crackling, and pop isn't necessarily that bad, I can go ahead and just kind of take that noise L. But let's get to the bottom of this. Let's see if there's anything that we should really be concerned about. So, from Lynn Jaffe. A couple of years ago, I had a neck thing going on. Oh, neck thing going on. Did you find yourself sleeping better? Did that help? Every time I turned my head to the left, I heard a funky, grinding sound. Oh, really? I wonder what that's like. My neck was a little stiff, but not enough to explain the noise it was making. I began to worry that the noises coming from my neck were a sign that something was really wrong. What a worry wart. It turns out that I had something called Crepitus, okay, which is a big word to describe. It's not that big word. It's just a unique word of noise coming from a joint. It sounds creaky, grinding, cracking, grating, and even popping. Aha! It might be what's going on with my ankles. And if it's going on with yours as well, stay tuned, I guess. And remember to hit like. No. Joint noise can be so soft that you can only hear it, or loud enough to startle a room full of people. Okay. Crepitus can be caused by a number of structural issues. One of the more common causes of joint noise is air bubbles popping inside the joint. What happens is gas builds up in the synovial fluid that cushions your joints. As the gas forms bubbles, and the joint is popped or stretched, and it can be here to release these bubbles with a popping sound. An example of crepitus is when someone cracks their knuckles. It sounds horrible and painful, but typically doesn't cause pain or long-term damage. Yeah, you've probably heard that as well. Don't crack your knuckles. You're going to get arthritis at a later age. It doesn't happen. Anyways, if you're a knuckle cracker, you have to wait until the gas bubbles reform so you can crack them again. That's why you can't just, crack and then damn it, can't crack that one again. See how that happens? See how that works? Another frequent cause of joint noise is when the bones within the joint grind against each other. That's the grinding point of it. That's not the cracking point that you might hear. This can happen from injuries and trauma to the joint, but it is far more common with people with osteoarthritis, especially of the knee. And the joint contains the kind of connective tissue called cartilage. It's pretty unique to, it's actually just unique to the knee. And the spine as well, my mistake. It acts as a shock absorber and protects the ends of your bones from rubbing together within the joint. Osteoarthritis is a condition in which the wear and tear, the overuse, and aging causes the cartilage to erode and the joint to become inflamed. When your joint cartilage has worn away, it's not uncommon to hear a grinding or grating noise and the bones rub together against one another. When you hear crepitus with a ligament or tendon snaps over a bony structure within the joint, this often happens because the ligaments or tendons become inflamed, swell, and don't move as smoothly as they should. Because of this kind of joint noise is awfully associated with inflammation. Have you been paying attention? A lot of these different forms of crepitus are also associated with inflammation. Another reason why we talk about it so very much. A ligament or tendon crepitus can be painful. Yep. Another structure within your joints that can be sore as the noise is the bursa. The bursae, plural, are packets of thick fluid that surround your joints and protect them from injury, trauma, or infection. Can cause inflamed bursae to rub together within the joint, which you may be able to hear a grinding, snapping, or popping sound. Crepitus can occur in any joint. Knees are often the noisiest of joints. Yeah, that's probably like my ankles, my ankles probably crack the most, but the loudest ones, when I give it a good hearty shake, it's definitely coming from the knees. Loudest noises from the knees. The temporal mandibular joint, that one right up there, that connects your lower jaw to your skull can also be the source of a lot of noise. People with TMJ problems can experience clicking and popping sounds every time they move their mouths. Wow, up there with tinnitus is one of the most annoying things you can possibly go through. That said, shoulders, wrists, ankles, elbows, fingers, toes, and even your spine can cause crepitus given the right conditions. Is crepitus a bad thing? Let's get to the meat of this. If you're hearing noise coming from a joint, you may be wondering if it's a problem. I know I am. And the answer is it depends. Thanks, Lynn. You're offering nothing here. Cracking your knuckles can, or a loud knee pop without pain can just release the gas within the synovial fluids in your joints. However, a joint noise that becomes more frequent or accompanied by pain, inflammation, swelling, or loss of function is often a problem. So if it breaks or hurts or starts to be painful, then it's a problem. Otherwise, no. Good. The noise may be a sign of joint damage, osteoarthritis, tendinitis, or even chronic disease. In addition, crepitus accompanied by joint pain or pain that originates, words are tough sometimes, in the joint but travels down your leg or your arm may be a sign of nerve compression and narrowing joint spaces. And if you work on your posture, you might be able to mitigate that different pain that's in there. So the short answer is, if you're experiencing joint noise plus any symptoms, it is a good idea to get it checked out. In the end, the crepitus in my neck is with me for multiple weeks. I did some stretching to loosen up my neck and shoulders, carrying a shoulder bag, and the noise went away. When I stretch my neck, I hear faint sounds of the muscles loosening up, but no grinding sounds or pain, so I'm good to go. Yeah, if you find yourself running afoul of any of those symptoms, do consider doing some stretching, okay? And basically, if you have knee pain, okay, don't be trying to stretch out your knee, because if you're stretching up tendons or cartilage or any of the bursa that's in there, that's not what it's designed to do. If you have knee pain, more likely than not, you're probably having bad posture, or you're having tight hamstrings, or your buttocks might be a little bit tight, okay? Your gluteus maximus might be a little bit tight, okay? So considering stretching those out using static stretches, dynamic stresses, or even just a foam roller as well. It might be a little bit painful to begin with, but you can mitigate those problems as well. So if you have problems and it's starting to manifest as noisy snaps or grinding or popping, probably just a sign that you have some areas of issue that you need to work out. So I think I'll probably take that advice and probably start working on my calves, especially with those noisy, snappy, cracky ankles. But with that said, guys, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. Hopefully you grabbed something from that, found that to be a little bit interesting. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.